Okay guys and girls, this is the progress so far. I'm just doing this in dribs and drabs, when I get the time. I took this small box from Amazon delivery, and you can probably see it's still got, you can't actually see it, but it still has some of the prime tape on it underneath. And I've wrapped it very badly in A4 paper so it looks slightly less like a box from Amazon. This is the sheet of copper, which has now been snipped in two with tin snips, so I've got to watch out for sharp edges. Okay, which is going to serve to be input plate and output plate once all the wires have come in. Forgive me, I've got a slight head cold there. Drill the 3 holes for the 3 variable resistors, and another hole there and a hole there, which is going to be the sockets, the headphone sockets. So I could have a jack plugged in there, which will be then connected to this. Once I've taken the plastic off this, you'll see that this is a piece of acrylic plastic, black acrylic plastic. So when the wires finally come, if my manual skills are remotely good enough, I'm going to create a spiral. Okay, and then have 2 connections of that going to one of these cables that have been snipped, with this end protruding out of there, okay, that protruding out of there, and is connected to the actual plate itself. Okay, and inside here, provided of course my soldering and my general skills with wiring is actually good enough, I would have followed the circuit diagram of Cosmanio himself. Now, as far as like getting these plates connected to the circuit, I struggle with how I should be going around that process. I even thought about getting out my creme brulee butane torch and heating this up and then soldering the hot metal to try and get a wire contact on it. But I think that would be dangerous and a bit of a struggle, so I'm not going to do that. And instead I've just got some crocodile clip cables on order, and I could have these sticking over the edge just a little, and then having the crocodile clips on there, and of course going back into the box. And I'll get these things stuck onto the paper wrapping using hot glue or something like that, and then I'll have a substantially sized input plate and output plate for the Cosmanio designed 3-dial box with external stick pad. The original Cosmanio design has 2 plates, but the second plate would act as the stick pad for the actual dowsing, and as well as doubling up as being the output or the witness plate, depending upon how you look at it. I think that would work out as being the witness plate, because you got your trend there, or the input, and then you got your output. And I think that a lot of people use the output as a stick pad if they don't have a separate dedicated stick pad, which they can use for the actual stick pad response. Cosmanio says just use a plastic coffee lid tin, but I don't buy coffee in tins, and I thought it'd be nice to have black acrylic. I like the look of acrylic, even though, as you can see, I have sawn it down with a hacksaw like a complete amateur. And so that's actually a little dangerous little, I said before, I can't make things. I'm not good at making things. Follow the instructions on an episode of Blue Peter and I come out with something looking like, I don't know what. But either way, that's essentially what it's like. So I think I've got the holes of the right size to fit the variable resistors. When the knobs are actually in place, I think it'll actually look quite cool in its own little weird, slightly mad scientisty kind of a way, as a radionics device, energy system, energy type manipulation type, homeopathy type, strangely occult and weird invention-y type thing, put together by the hands of yours truly. Okay, then I'll have the 3-dial, then it'll be a question of trying to get myself organized and arranged to make the 5-dial, and then the 8-dial. And I'll speak to you again soon with a bit of an update on how I'm progressing.